Good morning, dear students. Indian history is a topic of interest to many, including foreigners, because of cultures and civilizations existed in this subcontinent. Today's our topic is awareness of Indian history. So let's start.
Division of history. Indian history is divided into three periods, namely ancient, medieval, and modern period. Incidents which took place up to the 8th century AD come under ancient history. Incidents which took place between the 9th to the 17th century come under the medieval history, and those which took place from the 18th century till date come under modern history. Under the ancient history of India, we mainly study about the Maurya and the Gupta rulers. Under medieval history of India, we mainly study about the Sultanate and the Mughal rulers. And under the modern period, we study about the British rule in India. Sources of history. Historians depend on reliable sources in order to make a correct assessment of events. The sources of history of two kinds. They are literary sources and archaeological sources. Literary sources can be divided into two groups, religious and secular. Religious literature, writings which deal with religion, are called religious literature. The four Vedas, the two great epics Ramayana and Mahabharata, the Upanishads, and the Puranas are the rich source of information on Hindu religion and Aryan society. Jatakas and Tripitakas of the Buddhist and the Angas and Purvas of the Jains also gives us many historical details. Secular literature. Literature that is not religious is called secular. Poems, plays, accounts of foreign travelers, and work in the field of politics and science are included in this. The accounts of Fahane and Hutsing, the Indica of Megasthenes, and the Arthashastra of Kautilya give us information about the lifestyle, kingship, and ideas of people in the ancient period. Poems, plays, and stories gives us an insight into a history. For example, Kalidasa play Meghdoot and Abhigyan Shakuntalam give information about the Gupta period as well as acquaint the readers with the flora and fauna of. By the end of 7th century, the conquerors of Central Asia attracted towards India. Mahmud of Ghazni, the king of Ghazni in Afghanistan. It is to be believed that he attacked the kingdom of North India from around 998 AD till 1019 AD. He raided India 17 times, mainly Punjab and the northern plains. It is to be believed that Mahmud of Ghazni attacked and looted Somnath temple various times. Mahmud of Ghazni doesn't want to stay in India, but after Mahmud of Ghazni After Mahmud of Ghazni, the next invader in India was Mahmud Guri. He belonged to Gur dynasty, which is in Afghanistan. After the death of Mahmud Ghazni, he was the first Turkish who invaded India after a long period of 150 years. He led the foundation for Muslim rule in India, and his slave Qutbuddin Aibak became the founder of first Turkish rule in India. In 1192, Mahmud of Gur defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the first battle of Terrain. After the Delhi Sultanate in year 1526, Babur destroyed the Delhi Sultanate and established Mughal Empire in India. Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal emperor of India. The Rajputs, the Marathas, the Sikhs, the state of Mysore, they all become very powerful after this Mughal rule.
Now, the history of modern India. During the late 16th and the 17th century, the European trading companies in India competed with each other. By the last quarter of 18th century, the English had outdone all others and established themselves as the dominant power in India. The British administered India for a period of about 2 centuries and brought about revolutionary changes in the social, political, and the economic life of the country. The exploitative policies of the British in India saw the birth of nationalist agitation against it. The anti-struggle became truly mass movement with the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi. It was followed by a numerous movement against the British rule. Successive campaigns had the effect of driving the British out of India in 1947. Hundreds and thousands left everything, and many sacrificed their life for one common goal: freedom of India from foreign rule. Thank you, everyone.